What's up, everybody? Paul Hickey here with your data-driven daily tip. Today I'm super pumped to talk about a topic that I'm very passionate about for small business owners and all marketers. If you're at a mid-sized level brand or small business or emerging brand or even an enterprise level company, you need to have a podcast. Not only that, but you also need to take a look at what the data is telling podcasters to do. So if you already have a podcast and you feel like it's not necessarily working for you, what you need to do is you need to shorten your podcast down. You might be doing monthly interviews, okay? Or you might be doing long form content that's like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 minutes long. If you're doing like an hour-long interview with another business owner or an influencer in your space or whatever it may be, you need to actually chop those snippets down into like 5 to 6 minute or less daily podcasts that you can take. So you can take an hour's worth of an interview and turn it into 20 days or 25 days worth of shorter snippets from that hour-long interview. Let me break this down as to why. So when I started doing this about 6 months ago, and I noticed that the proof was in the data. It was working for me. But let me show you just a little bit more in depth. This is just over the last 10 days, okay? So about 6 months ago, I went from going monthly podcasts that were like an hour long down to like weekly podcasts that were a little bit shorter, but they were still pretty long. So here's what happened when I went from weekly to daily. This was the huge turning point for me. So you can see on my screen, and if you're listening on the podcast, I'm going to go ahead and read this to you, of course. But we went from 100.6 plays per episode to just this gradual increase day by day by day. 101.5 plays per episode, 102.8 plays per episode, 104.1 plays per episode, 106.4 plays per episode, to 107.1 plays per episode. This is day by day by day. One more play per episode daily. That's going to continue to add up. That is actually a huge increase when you break it down. And noticing that there's actually ad revenue coming in. Granted, it's at a very, very low total right now, but there's ad revenue coming in, and the total plays all time, the total plays per episode are going up. This is from shortening the episode length and posting it every single day versus worrying about it being perfect or worrying about it being long enough and then having this big reveal monthly, when the reality is you build up the listenership through consistently putting yourself out there. There's just so much going on a consistent basis that if you think that putting one podcast out every 2 weeks or every 4 weeks is going to gain you visibility, it's just not going to. You have to have more frequency. And I love that I have data to back this up now. So it's the proof is in the data series here. We're talking about shortening your podcast length and posting it daily. I use anchor.fm. I highly recommend it. There are other ways to get your podcast out there, but anchor.fm is a great platform for it. If you have more questions on wanting to get your podcast out there or your Alexa flash briefing out there, hit me up at paul@datadriven.design. I'm happy to help you out. For more free digital marketing tips, go to dataoveropinions.com. And of course, to get our podcast, if you're watching on YouTube or watching on our website, go to datadrivenpodcast.com. And if you're listening on the podcast right now, check out the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Paul Hickey. Thanks and have a great day.